Hey guys, we're here for the trailer breakdown. There were so many interesting things that came out in the DC fandom, but this by far was the one that we got all most excitingly waiting for. And yeah, I've watched it. I watched it yesterday, of course, last night itself when it dropped live, and I've watched it I think a couple of times since then. But I've not really completely broken it down, and this may not be the most ideal breakdown. I will miss out stuff still because I've not done my own research on what else shit's going down, what else stuff. I'm so sorry, but yeah, this is me trying my best to break down most of the stuff, and I think I should be able to cover most of the stuff that they're trying to get out with this trailer. But yeah, let's get into it. I'm super excited.
Police! Hands up! Stay still! Get out of here!
We see the Riddler getting his first sequence itself, and that sort of makes me believe that okay, so Paul Dano plays the Riddler over here, and this is one thing that made me believe that he will surrender to the police, but it won't really. It will be in the initial sequences, or at least the first half of the movie itself, primarily because I think they are trying to portray Riddler as this character who operates as the mastermind of, and of course that's what Riddler is. We all know that, but that's what they're going for. That's what Matt Reeves is ideally going for. That he doesn't have to be physically or tangibly present in the streets of Gotham City to cause havoc in the streets of Gotham City. He will sit behind he'll sit behind bars in the prison cell, but he'll still cause as much havoc in the streets and as much chaos for Batman as any other character ever could running through the streets. So that's what makes me believe that he will surrender in the initial sequences itself.
Fear
Yes,
is a
Gordon.
tool. When that light hits the sky,
There he is.
it's not just a goal. It's a warning.
Another very important few sequences. This sort of gives us the first premise of what Batman is going to be in this trailer. We already had that awareness in the first trailer itself, but this trailer sort of emphasizes further on that, and it will go on to further emphasize that there is going to be, since this is Batman, since Matt Reeves' Batman is, despite being, it is a very original Batman. It is none like we've seen before. Okay, and I'm not saying this in a bad way because he has taken the central character of Batman from novels such as, from comic books such as Year One or The Long Halloween. And he's taken the central theme, the central personality of Batman, but he's given his own twist to it. So he has taken Batman, from what I remember from an interview, that this was his second year of fighting crime in Gotham City. And he's still in that, that young, in that reckless, that overly excited state of being. And right now, his core intention is to clear crime from the streets of Gotham, and he is not afraid of taking any step necessary. As we go on and further see that Batman matures over time and becomes sort of a more subtle presence in the in his own vigilante persona, but over here Batman is out there, he's explicit, and he is fearless, and that excites me so much because that invites so much more darkness and violence, and more than anything it invites Batman to actually embody the world's greatest detective persona that was the original stepping stone upon which the character of Batman was created. He is the world's greatest detective. And this over here is him trying to embody that and play according to that. He is not ready, he is not afraid to take any step that is required to solve any particular puzzle or crime that comes along his way. And here we see a few not Joker, I'm sorry. So a few clown figures also. That does not necessarily mean that we'll see Joker, although I'm like super excited. I have my fingers crossed that we get some screen time for Joker. But it could be just, regular Gotham some novice criminals here and there whom he's trying to clear off.
I've been trying to reach you.
He's so pissed off, dude. He's so pissed off, and God, I'm here for it. He is so pissed off. He is so pissed off, and God, I love Robert Pattinson right now. He's embodying it so well. You see the darkness. It pervades through the screen, and it's hitting me. There is so much pent up anger within him behind that exterior. He's embodying it completely. But apart from the violence, we saw that in the beginning also. Look at this scene, which will blow up, and we'll see it in going ahead also. But another interesting thing that we saw over there was the screen lifting up, but before it could reveal who it was, it shifts to Batman getting pissed off, of course. While I think Matt Reeves wants us to believe that it is the Riddler, I would be slightly cautious in going and putting a rubber stamp on the fact that it is Riddler, because I would like to believe that they may bring in a plot twist and it could be some other character as well who's just there, and because anyone can piss Batman off at this moment, he's just pissed Batman off, and Matt Reeves wants us to believe that is the Riddler. But while I think it would be the Riddler ideally, I would not put my rubber stamp on that yet. But okay. Beautiful cinematic review. A few brilliant sequences. There she is.
I can take care of myself.
This shot.
If this continues, it won't be long before.
Okay. We see two introductions again in this trailer. Again, we see Zoe Kravitz as Selina Kyle or Catwoman, and we see the Penguin dude. Can you imagine? That's Colin Farrell. The amount of makeup and prosthetic that's been put on him, it's insane. It's almost like the makeup department was trying to show off at this point, and I'm here for it. This is such beautiful work. The scars on his face, dude. Look at the light falling on his face and the scars just protruding. It's so menacing. It embodies Penguin. It embodies the persona that Penguin is bound to have. And this is such good work. But yes, we also saw, along with that, we also saw Selina Kyle. We saw Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman.
You've nothing left.
And there is Andy Serkis as...
I don't care what happens.
Let's go back a little bit. I thought that was a very important scene. Okay, so this, I think, is the central thematic plot of the movie. This is basically the Riddler's victims. And we see over here, we see Coulson, we see Savage. And we know that they are going to be the victims of Riddler. That's for those who don't know, that's Gil Coulson and Pete Savage, who are the district attorney and commissioner of Gotham City. So we know that they are going to be the victims. But what's interesting over here, what interests me the most, is the sins of my father that we see on top. And that sort of makes me believe that we will get a plot about how Wayne Enterprises and Wayne Foundation had its fair share of role to play. You know, it will come into play, and how they had their role to play in the crime scene, in the underbelly of Gotham City. So that's going to be interesting, and that's how Batman is going to have a personal involvement, not just a detective involvement and an impersonal one, but rather a very personal and a very subjective involvement into the Riddler and what's pissing him off so much more.
I don't care what happens to me.
It's only gonna get worse for you.
Whoa, take it easy, sweetheart. Hear everything they say, ain't you?
See, another interesting thing, I'll come to that. He says, that I don't care what happens to me. I'll come to that a bit later. But right now, you see how much screen time Selina Kyle is getting. And this is just the trailer, which makes me believe that, it's not just going to be her serving as an ally to Batman being Catwoman. It's going to be Selina Kyle herself having an agenda, her own personal agenda. And because we also know, and we've seen Falcone get his own screen time now, I think because of her relationship with Falcone, that relationship is going to be the central plot behind her agenda, her own personal agenda, apart from helping Batman solve the Riddler issue. But I'll come to that. I'm not afraid, whatever he says over there. I'm not afraid of what happens to me. I'll come to that a bit later.
Maybe we're not so different. Who are you under there?
I'm vengeance.
I I love that. But okay, he'll also have another scene wherein he shows his back and it's scarred, and you see here he's taking bullets left, right, center. He's taking the entire arsenal of bullets. We saw him completely fighting and getting beaten up in a bit, not in the bad way. Of course, he was totally violent about it. But this all sort of adds on to that the younger Batman character, that right now he is not mature enough to think about a future beyond being Batman. Okay, his idea is to take whatever steps necessary to clear the crime that's right in front of him, to clear the issue right in front of him, basically to find the Riddler and solve out that. But he is not afraid to take whatever steps necessary in that, because eventually we see Batman sort of get more into the titanium stuff and all of that. He gets more cautious, a bit more cautious. He's not completely cautious, but he gets a bit more cautious, and that's the sign of maturity. But this adds on further to the character of a slightly younger and an immature Batman. That he's taking bullets, dude. We see later on, we'll also see, I think in a couple of scenes later, we'll see him revealing his back and we see scars. His face is scarred. And that is not how we've seen Batman generally. That, this completely beaten up and scarred, which shows how in the initial years, Batman was right there in the midst, taking beatings. And that sort of made him become a better version, a more mature version of himself.
Black
Beautiful scenes of it.
and blue and dead.
There, this is the one that I
I got you! I got you!
Shot-wise, this is my favorite shot. I think it'll be everyone's favorite shot. And this transition, it's everything. Dude, chills. I'm not kidding. I have chills. Okay. The last sequence, I did not break it down too much because it sort of adds on, and I'm not trying to break down the Easter eggs. I'm sure there'll be a lot of YouTubers who will go do that. You should go check those out. There'll be so many Easter eggs, and I cannot spot all of them. It's impossible. I have to go frame by frame, and I will do that, but it's easier to go and check out a YouTube video. Although I'd be really interested in breaking them down. But I saw a couple of them. We saw the video. We saw the See You in Hell black card. So yeah, did observe right from producing through it. But most of the second half of that, I did not stop because there is not a lot to break down plot-wise. It sort of adds on to the existing stuff that I've already told, that there are, we talked about the central characters and how this Batman is so much more chaotic internally and externally. He's so much more chaotic than the other Batmans. And this resemblance, maybe slightly to Keaton, but we've not seen this Batman at all. Be it Affleck or be it Bale, we've not seen this Batman on TV screens or on cinema screens. And that is what excites me so much more. And it's so dark. Even the colors you see, it's just golden red and black. If you've known Batman before this, you know that this entire film, what it seems like right now, just embodies Batman. And just embodies Batman not as a Batman whom we've seen on TV, but as the Batman who was created by DC in the early years. And that is what's so beautiful. It's not that Matt Reeves has taken it and adapted a certain comic book exactly the way it was. Not at all. This is what differs, a very general, this is what makes me believe that it will be different from a general comic book movie, because he's taken the central theme, he's kept that, which is how he's paying ode to the character of Batman, to the original creation of Batman, but at the same time, he's given his own twist to it. This is not a Batman that we've seen 2 years into the crime fighting, this dark, this chaotic, this vengeful. We've not seen that. And this fearless. He's so fearless in this movie. You can see that. Just from the trailer, I know that I'm almost certain that it's going to be so action packed, and I hope it is. I'm just really hoping that at this point it just completely delivers on what it is promising right now. That is my only hope, because if it manages to completely deliver on what it's promising here, this might go on to become one of the best Batman movies ever made. Yes, it has the potential to do that, which is what makes me say this. And I've not said this, I did not say this after the first trailer, I did not say this throughout. But dude, Robert Pattinson is the Batman. He is the Batman right now. That's it. That's all from me. That's my breakdown. If you have anything further, please do let me know in the comments. Just go like, share, follow the page, and yeah, all that good stuff. And just let me know what you thought of the trailer. Okay, thank you and have a good day.